Hi, I'm Dallas, and one of the reasons I came to EA, well, the major reason was a long time ago, I hate to admit it, 1960, I was 9 years old. I was hit by a car, and the car did brutal damage to me. It pretty much crushed my ankle, destroyed 4 of the tendons in my left foot, scraped all the skin at the top of the left foot down to the bone, and in addition to that, broke my nose, had a broken collarbone, fractured skull, head injury, and I was rushed by ambulance to St. Mary's Hospital and stayed there for 7 weeks. And I was extremely fortunate not to die or to get my left foot amputated. I had a doctor who decided he could save both my life and my foot, and I underwent at least 4 surgeries that involved reconstruction of my ankle, which was something that wasn't done very much back then. After release of the hospital, I eventually wore a brace for about 5 years, but after the 5 years, I really didn't need it, and my life was quite normal. I did not have hardly any issues with my foot. I went out for every sport I could, and by the time I got to high school, I settled into distance running. But about 5 years ago, I started to have some problems with this foot, and my wife Caroline and my son talked me into getting a brace, and the brace was helpful, and I realized I was at a point where I needed it. But in my conversations with the doctors at Mayo at the time, I was surprised to hear that problems with my left foot were not all physical. A major problem resulted from the head injury I had with the car accident. And back then, they didn't pay a lot of attention to head injuries. And I was told that messages were not getting to my foot from the brain as they should. And my foot was, I was also told that my foot was spasming, though I was not aware of it, and was pushing my left foot outward into a more distorted position all the time. In working with Mayo, I was again kind of talked into this by my wife to get a surgery that removed a number of the nerves in my left legs, because my whole foot was pretty much in a locked position, and this surgery would make it just a touch more flexible. And I went through the surgery and was very, very successful. I was disappointed because it didn't do some of the things I'd really hoped it would do, but there was some flexibility to it. And again, I was told, and my wife kind of pushed me on this as well, saying that physical therapy might be very helpful with the new flexibility of the foot. So I agreed to it, and I'm very glad that my wife sort of enabled it so that I would be able to come to EA because of the focus on head injury. And also the surgery I had was a prelude to another more major surgery that the doctors were recommending I should get, that I thought would be kind of the end all that would truly, quote unquote, heal my foot and get it into a very good position, a much better position than it was in. But then I was told just several weeks before we thought the surgery would happen that I should only get it if I was in extreme pain, which I wasn't, and then if I were to get that surgery, I couldn't bear weight on my left foot for a long time, and my foot and leg would kind of end up shriveling into a worse position than it was now. So that surgery did not sound like something I wanted to do, so I declined it. And then I came to EA, but the very first therapist who kind of did the intake on me looked at my foot, and not in any type of dramatic fashion, but just matter of fact said, "Oh yeah, we can do something here." And it was those simple words that really had a tremendous effect, because that was the first really positive words I had in regard to my left foot for quite a while. And so I began my time here undergoing physical therapy at EA, and it was a time in which I went through, I worked with several therapists, and from day one, there was always the attitude, yes, yeah, we can do something here. But it wasn't just blowing smoke. When they said something could be done, there was always like a very understandable scientific reason why a certain exercise was working. And what I was so impressed by with every therapist I met who worked with me, I felt like I was the first person they'd ever worked with. There was a freshness and an excitement about it. And I also had the feeling that they really knew my situation and my foot and had done research on it and knew what would be best for it. And it wasn't long before I found some positive changes in my left foot. And this sounds like exaggeration, but after some of the sessions, I literally felt like I was walking on air again, like I had not felt that way for a long time. And if I did, I wasn't aware of it. And the therapist, too, they approached me and worked with me with a sense of joy, and also they're willing to look outside the box, which I really appreciated, because sometimes I know we need to follow the science and all that, but sometimes you can get into the attitude, well, where science says you'll never be able to do this, well, let's try and see if you can do that. And I really appreciated that. And working with the therapists greatly increased my confidence. And I certainly hope my relationship with EA continues. I am going to be going here. I understand there's a great new machine called a Newbie that would fit very well with my condition, and I'm looking forward to that. And I think my relationship with EA will be one of looking to the staff for support as needed. And I just also want to say that it's not like anything magic was done here. My foot is improved, but I still have to work on it, and I can't ignore it. And I have been given by the therapist an exercise regimen to do at home that involves a lot of work, not only strengthening, trying to flatten out my foot, but strengthening the muscles of my legs to build that up again, because I really am looking forward to that, because I really need the building up of the muscles in my legs. And I try to do it as much as I can, and I think that is going very well, but I'm able to also check in up here once a month to see how that home therapy is going. It's not like I'm been told, oh, go ahead, do it at home, it's been nice knowing you. No, there's an avenue to check up on how it's going. I would just like to thank you, Melanie, for starting EA. I would highly recommend it to anyone who needs physical therapy, particularly those who have had a head injury.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. You know, one question I had as you were talking was, I know you drive from a little ways away.
Yeah.
And so tell us how we've managed your expectations with living far away and the value of coming and making that drive.
Okay.
And then how now, you know, we're able to manage the winter schedule with your revisits and coming back here.
Okay. Is the camera still rolling?
It is.
Okay, well, I just would like to say initially there was a physical therapy agency in my hometown, just 30 miles away from where EA is located, that we went to there first, and they too highly recommended coming here because of my head injury. And initially I wasn't too enthused about coming to Rochester for it, but after coming here and, you know, gaining the confidence of driving again, it's not like I didn't drive at all, but I was just hesitant to drive. Mm-hmm. But that confidence has made driving here not difficult at all. As a matter of fact, I looked forward to it. Looked forward to getting a cup of coffee and sipping as I drove here, and then getting the physical therapy I needed that was so helpful to me. And so I guess being 30 miles away, I don't see that as an obstacle, and it shouldn't be to anybody.
Yeah, we thank you for being a client here.
Well, thank you again for your whole organization and your excellent staff, like Jesus here, and of course I had Mackenzie today, and boy,
yeah,
she's done so much for me, really.